Hello friends, in this video we will discuss another important topic for NEET PG, which is image-based questions in orthopedics. Do watch full video so that you do not miss any important points. First is Bennett's fracture and Ronaldo's fracture. Both are intra-articular fracture of base of first metacarpal bone, but the difference is Bennett fracture is more displaced compared to Ronaldo fracture, and Bennett fracture is more oblique, and Ronaldo fracture is Y or T-shaped fracture, as you can see in this diagram. Another important MCQ point is Bennett fracture is difficult to reduce due to pull of adductor pollicis longus. As you can see in this diagram, adductor pollicis longus is inserted at the base of first metacarpal bone, which is pulling it downwards, so it is difficult to reduce the fracture. Next is Boxer's fracture. It is fracture of neck of fifth metacarpal bone. It is usually a consequence of direct blow with a clenched fist against a solid surface. Next is Mallet's or basketball finger. It is eversion of extensor tendon from dorsal aspect of the base of distal phalanx leading to flexion deformity at distal interphalangeal joint. Next is gamekeeper's thumb or skier's thumb. It is eversion of ulnar collateral ligament from first metacarpophalangeal joint. In this diagram you can clearly see torning of ulnar collateral ligament. The next important point is to remember difference in paranoikia and phalan. Paranoikia is an infection involving proximal and retinal nail folds, whereas phalan is infection of pulp of tip of the digit. Next is jersey finger. It is eversion of flexor digitorum profundus from volar aspect of distal phalanx. Next is Kaplan injury. It is dislocation of dorsal metacarpophalangeal joint of index finger. In image you can see increased space between metacarpophalangeal joint. The next and very important topic is fractures of distal end of radius. First thing to learn is Colles fracture. It is distal end of radius fracture with dorsal displacement of distal fragment. And Smith's fracture, which is also known as reverse Colles fracture. It is also a distal end of radius fracture, but there is ventral displacement of the distal fragment. These both are extra-articular fracture. Next is Barton's fracture. It is also a distal end of radius fracture, but it is intra-articular fracture with radioscaphoid subluxation. And last distal end of radius fracture is Chauffeur's fracture, which is also known as Huntington's or Beckfire's fracture. It is also intra-articular fracture of distal end of radius with radiostellar fragment with intact radioscaphoid joint. Remember friends, Colles and Smith's were extra-articular fracture and Barton's and Chauffeur's are intra-articular fracture. The next and very important fractures are Monteggia fracture and Galeazzi fracture. Monteggia is a fracture of proximal one-third of ulna along with dislocation of proximal head of radius. And Galeazzi fracture is fracture of distal one-third of radius with dislocation of distal radioulnar joint. And the mnemonic to remember is MUGR, M-U-G-R. MU stands for Monteggia and bone involved is ulna. And GR for Galeazzi and bone involved is radius. And use the alphabet A and Z to remember the location of the fracture dislocation. The A is proximal then Z, so in Monteggia fracture, radial is dislocation and proximal ulnar fracture. And Z is distal, so in Galeazzi fracture, there is distal radioulnar dislocation with distal radial fracture. One more important MCQ point is, most common nerve injured in Monteggia fracture is posterior interosseous nerve. Then Kienbock's deformity, it is non-traumatic avascular necrosis of lunate bone. As you can see in this figure, increased joint space is suggestive of avascular necrosis. The next important fracture is Torus fracture. This torus represents the part of base of the pillar. Torus fracture are also known as buccal fracture. These are incomplete fracture of shaft of long bone. It basically indicates trabecular compression. The next is Dupuytren's fracture. It is a depressed fracture of lunate fossa of the articular surface of the distal radius. One important sign to remember is Terry-Thomas sign. It refers to increased scapholunate space. This sign indicates scapholunate ligament dissociation. It is named after famous comedian Terry Thomas. Next is Essex-Lopresti fracture dislocation. In this complex, there is fracture of head of radius with disruption of interosseous membrane, and there is also subluxation or dislocation of distal radioulnar joint. Then Hotchkiss cerebral triad. In this trial, there is radial head fracture, coronate process fracture, and posterior dislocation of the ulna. Next is Sale or Fat-Pate sign. This sign is seen in non-displaced supracondylar fracture of humerus. Bleeding from the fracture expands the joint capsule and is visualized in lateral view as a darker area anteriorly and posteriorly. And this sign is known as Sale sign. Look carefully around the red arrows in the image. You can see darker area anteriorly and posteriorly to the humerus bone. The next important image is Benkard's lesion. It is avulsion of anteroinferior glenoid labrum. Then Hill-Sachs lesion. It is bony defect at posterior lateral aspect of the humeral head. So friends, this was all about this video. In this video, we have mainly covered images of the upper limb. In our subsequent video, we will upload more such images. So do like and subscribe our channel and also share it among your friends. Thank you.